LENE LOVICH is... LENE LOVICH is new progressive music at its finest, and she is totally individual in her look and particularly in her sound. Here with me today, a mainstay of the Stiff Records label, LENE LOVICH. Now,
hello.
We've got LENE LOVICH and, of course, Les Chappell, brilliant guitarist with us. You really are, too. Because I caught the show the other night, and I was really very much impressed. Now, I know I'm supposed to sit here and say that, but I honestly I was, because I was up in the rafters just jumping up and down and having a great time. I thought the show was, like I said to you earlier, was brilliantly paced. And I think pacing is really very, very much important in the way the show goes down, because it just kept going up and up and up and up. Sailed beautiful.
Yes, it's something that we've had to learn over a long time, really, as to how to organize a show. It's not easy to know which numbers you should put first and all that sort of thing.
Do you do that from audience reaction?
No, I think we do it more from our personal point of view. But sometimes we do change around a few numbers if we, feel the audience is going to join in more, but then we do more things that have more participation.
I only asked that because I remember once that Roger Daltrey said that, and they watched the audience. And then I've seen like Queen do that as well. If they put a song in a proper place, it works. And if they take that song and put it somewhere else in the show, it just kind of throws the show off. Yeah, it's amazing. Now, obviously, your singing style is really unique. And what I would like to know is, how How did you listen to Ina Sumac when you were young? You know?
I don't think I did. I don't remember if I did. Somebody gave me an album of hers about 2 years ago, so I have heard her. I know who you're talking about. But it's very difficult for me to know how I started doing it because I never really thought about it. I mean, it was just natural to me to be like that. And then, of course, once I had a little bit of freedom to try out things, I really enjoyed that freedom, so I wanted to continue.
Now, when you work with Les, when the two of you are working together, when you think of Lena's singing style and what her range is, do you kind of think of that as an instrument in itself?
Yeah, very much. I mean, a lot of the sounds on the records that you probably think are synthesizers are Lena's voice.
Yes. And I didn't know that until the other night. Seriously, when I saw you live on stage, and I went, my God, she's really doing that.
That freaks a lot of people out.
Yeah. But what we usually do when we're recording is that we like to have at least one track that we feel is like a wild track, you know? So we improvise something. Sometimes it's Les playing a guitar or a keyboard, or sometimes it's my vocals, but it's something that's not in the strict order of the song. So it's like something that lives on its own.
So you use absolutely no studio gimmicks or anything?
You
didn't seem like it the other night.
We use echo. Yeah, that's about it, really.
It's an amazing instrument. You must have been blown away when you met her and you can feel the things she can do. I know that you're interested in what can be accomplished electronically in the studio. You're both working on that, right?
Yes, we have plans to make our own studio. We think it's the best idea, both from a financial point of view and from a creative thing, because we feel that our demos that we do just in our front room on a just tiny little tape recorder have got a lot more of the real idea, and by the time you translate them to musicians and actually physically lift yourself into a studio and have to work with engineers, no matter how much they try to understand your ideas, it's just we want to be as close to the original ideas as possible.
So you find the time you lose in the translation to other people and through the engineer. I mean, no matter how closely you work with an engineer, unless you're actually sitting there twiddling the knobs and pushing the faders, you don't actually really know what you're doing until you actually do it yourself. So we're going to build our own studio.
Do you plan on maybe possibly producing other people in the future as well?
That's very possible.
Yes, we have a lot of people that we meet that we feel don't really get a chance. You know, it's an expensive thing to make a record. It's even expensive for some people to do demos. So if you have your own studio where you can keep the costs down, then you can do a lot more experimenting. So that's what we're interested in.
Now, obviously, it costs an awful lot of money, not only to build a studio, but even to maintain it. And now, maybe I'm wrong, so I'll pose this question in a certain way. I've always felt that as a recording artist, obviously, you know, you want people to listen to your music or else you wouldn't be recording. You know, I was wondering just how interested you are in mass appeal as far as your music is concerned, because what I'm basically trying to say is it takes a great deal of money, you know, to support what you really want to do,
yes, well,
which would mean obviously a mass appeal thing. And do you think you would have to possibly in any way alter your music the way it is to
No, there's different levels you can work it on. You see, there are different economic levels. You needn't spend an awful lot of money in building a studio. It's not that necessary. You don't have to have all the gadgets.
There's a lot of trappings and a lot of mystery around the music business, where people think you need to have certain equipment, you need to have certain status. You know, it's like the people who build equipment almost build in an obsolescence. You know, so that they need to buy new equipment all the time in order to keep up to date. But I don't really think that's not really the real essential thing. Also, I think there's nothing wrong with being popular. But commercial is different to being popular, in a way. And I think that we plan to do enough traveling around the world so that we can find enough people in every country that would be interested in us.
But you're doing that pretty much now.
Yeah.
You know, because I've got two questions. One is on just what you just said, because I had another one in my mind. And the other one was basically that, then that means you're going to hold off on, say, an album until you finish your studio?
Well, we have too many ideas, I think. We'd like to, but I think we have to do something in the meantime.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's going to take a long time.
We're halfway through recording an album now, we sort of broke off that to come over here do these shows.
I see.
Yeah.
So we're going back to finish off the album.
Cool.
And I think the next album we do will be at our own
I
place.
see. Also in Yugoslavia, when you went there, and I read this article on that, and it was amazing, and how well you went down there, which goes in what you were saying, going around the world.
Yes, I've always wanted to try to reach other countries because I don't really feel that our music belongs to any one nation. You know, I really like to meet other people. I mean, communicate to other countries, other languages. It's just, I feel very close to all kinds of people. You know, not just
I
people
think
who
your
normally
music
listen to
reflects
rock
that. I
music.
kind of feel when I listen to it, I hear a little touch of R&B in it, seriously, and I hear, but yet there's a Far Eastern sound in it. I mean, it's really universal in that way.
Yeah.
You know, and so I can see where it would go down very well. How was it like playing to people like in Belgrade? You know, it's amazing.
Well, it was spiritually very uplifting for me because I don't know if you know, but my father's family is Yugoslav. And there's not too many people in the rock business that are Yugoslav, or at least own up to it.
Yeah.
So they were very excited to have me there because they really felt
It's like a welcome home.
Yes, it was, even
It's
though,
terrific.
I mean, even though I don't speak Yugoslav and it's really only my father's remote connections, but it was very exciting.
Do you think that, like, say, your stage attire, do you think that in any way helps or detracts from your music, like your presentation of your music?
I think it does put some people off, really, because I think people are disturbed by what they see on a superficial level. They don't see any further than some strange dress. And I think they find it difficult you know, to relate to what I'm wearing. But, I mean, some people think I do it to attract attention, but I just do it in order to be myself. I mean, we like to be creative in everything that we do, and it's just part of our personality, really.
Yeah, so obviously
That's
you
all
really
it
don't
is.
dress all that differently in your personal and private life than you do on stage.
No, I mean, when we go on stage, I think I dress up a little bit more, but it's only like somebody going out to a party or something. You might dress up a little bit more to go
Also,
out.
the other side of that coin would be, do you think that sometimes maybe the music, they're not paying attention because they're into the dress too much? In other words, you get the other side of the